Welcome to Practice English Slowly.
Chapter 1. How I Learned to Love Humans. My name is Daisy. I am a dog. I do not know exactly what kind of dog I am because humans like to give many names to things. But I know what matters most. I have 4 legs, a warm heart, and I love my people with my whole soul. I live in a quiet house near a river. The house smells like wood, books, and morning tea. When the sun comes up, light moves slowly across the floor, and that is when my favorite time of day begins. I wake up before everyone else. I always do. I listen to the sounds of the house, the soft breathing of my humans, the ticking clock on the wall, the birds outside the window. All these sounds tell me that everything is safe. When I know everything is safe, I rest my head again and feel happy. My human family has 3 people. There is the father. He walks slowly and speaks softly. His hands are big but gentle. When he touches my head, I feel calm. I think he understands silence. There is the mother. She smells like flowers and soap. Her voice is warm, and when she laughs, the whole house feels brighter. When she is sad, I sit very close to her and do not move. And then there is the child. She is small, but her heart is very big. She was the first one who chose me. I remember that day very clearly. I was very young. The world was loud and confusing. There were many smells, many sounds, and many feet moving everywhere. I was afraid. I did not know what humans wanted from me. Then I saw her. She sat on the ground, not standing like the others. She looked at me, not over me. Her eyes were soft and curious. She did not reach for me. She waited. That was the moment I decided. I walked toward her. My legs were shaking, but my heart was strong. When she touched me, it felt like home. "This one," she said. "I want this one." From that moment, my life changed. Humans are strange creatures. They use many words. They worry about many things. They forget what they have and think about what they do not. Dogs are simpler. We live in moments. A voice, a smell, a touch, a feeling. I learned many things from my humans, but they taught me the most important lesson without knowing it. They taught me what love looks like. Love looks like waiting at the door. Love looks like listening carefully. Love looks like staying, even when it is hard. Every day I watch them closely. I watch how the father leaves the house every morning and comes back tired in the evening. I wait for him, always. I watch how the mother works around the house, sometimes smiling, sometimes quiet. I follow her from room to room. I watch how the child grows. She reads books on the floor. She laughs loudly. Sometimes she cries for reasons I do not understand. When she cries, I bring her my favorite toy because it is the most valuable thing I own. At night, I sleep near her bed. I dream many dreams. I dream of running fast. I dream of warm hands. I dream of being useful because that is what I want most, to protect, to stay, to belong. Humans think they own dogs, but the truth is simpler. We give ourselves to them, and once we do, we never take that gift back. I did not know then that my love would be tested. I did not know that one day I would have to choose between fear and courage. But I was ready, because when you love humans, you learn very quickly. Love is not about understanding everything. Love is about staying anyway. Chapter 2: The Day I Became Brave. I did not always feel brave. People think dogs are born brave, but that is not true. We learn bravery slowly, step by step, just like humans do. We learn it when we are afraid, but decide to stay anyway. For me, that day came in the summer. The air was heavy and warm. The sun stayed in the sky for a long time, and the shadows moved slowly across the yard. The child was playing near the river. She liked to sit close to the water and throw small stones, watching the circles grow bigger and bigger. I stayed near her, of course. I always stayed near her. The river had many smells: wet stones, green plants, fish, old wood. Some smells were friendly, but others made my ears stand up. The river was not always kind. The adults were inside the house. They trusted me. That made my chest feel proud and heavy at the same time. The child laughed and clapped her hands when a stone jumped across the water. I watched her face, her hands, her feet. I watched everything. Then I heard a sound I did not like. It was fast. It was sharp. It came from behind the bushes near the riverbank. I froze. My body knew before my mind did. Something was wrong. I moved in front of the child without thinking. My legs felt strong, even though my heart was beating very fast. I could hear my own breathing. The sound came again. Branches moved, and then I saw it. A large dog, bigger than me. His fur was dark and rough. His eyes were hard and cold. He did not move slowly like friendly dogs do. He moved straight toward us with no fear. The child did not understand. She stood up and smiled. I growled. I had never growled like that before. The sound came from deep inside me. It surprised even me. The big dog stopped. For one moment, everything was silent. I could hear the river. I could hear my heart. I stood between him and the child. I did not think. I did not plan. I only knew one thing. She was mine to protect. The big dog took one step closer. I felt fear run through my body, but I did not move. My legs stayed firm. My teeth showed, even though they were shaking. Then the child spoke. "Daisy?" she said softly. Her voice was calm. She trusted me. That trust was heavier than fear. I barked loudly, as loud as I could. The sound filled the air and broke the silence. The big dog stepped back. He did not expect that. I barked again. This time he turned. He ran back into the bushes and disappeared. The danger was gone. My legs felt weak. I sat down and shook. My heart was still racing. I wanted to hide. I wanted to cry. But the child was safe. That was all that mattered. She ran to me and hugged my neck. "You're so brave," she said. Her arms were warm, her face pressed into my fur. I could feel her heart beating, fast but steady. I did not understand the word brave fully, but I understood her tone. I understood her love. The adults came running then. They asked many questions. They touched me, looked at me, spoke quickly. I stayed calm. I looked at the child. She smiled at me like she had chosen me again. That night, I slept very close to her bed, closer than ever before. I dreamed of standing tall. I dreamed of barking loudly. I dreamed of being strong, even when I was afraid. That day changed something inside me. I learned that bravery is not loud all the time. Sometimes bravery is quiet. Sometimes it shakes. Sometimes it is just staying in place and saying, "No, you cannot pass." And I learned something else, too. When humans trust you with their safety, you grow into that trust. You become bigger inside. And once that happens, you are never the same again. Chapter 3: The House and the Heart. Our house was not big, but it was full. It was full of voices, footsteps, smells, and quiet moments that felt safe. I knew every sound it made. I knew which step belonged to the man, which one to the woman, and which soft, light steps were the child's. I knew when the house was happy. I also knew when it was sad. Dogs know these things. After the day by the river, something changed. The adults looked at me differently. They spoke my name more often. Their hands stayed on my head longer when they touched me. I felt taller, even though my body was the same size. The child stayed close to me. She always had, but now she held my fur when she felt unsure. When she slept, her hand reached down from the bed, searching. I made sure I was there every night. The house had a special room. It was warm and quiet, with a small bed, white sheets, and a soft lamp. The woman spent many hours there. Sometimes she smiled, sometimes she cried. The man walked in and out, speaking in a low voice. I did not fully understand, but I felt it. There was waiting in the air, hope, fear, both together. One evening, the woman sat in that room for a long time. The child was not allowed inside. She waited in the hallway, sitting on the floor, hugging her knees. I lay beside her. The door was closed. I could hear voices inside, soft, careful, then silence, then a sudden cry. Not a sad cry, a new sound, thin, high, alive. My ears lifted. The man laughed. The woman cried again, but this time her tears smelled warm and happy. The door opened. Light spilled into the hallway. The man came out first. His face looked tired but bright. He looked down at the child and smiled. "You have a sister," he said. The child gasped. She stood up slowly, like she was afraid the moment might break. She walked into the room, step by step. I followed, quiet as a shadow. The woman lay in the bed. Her face was pale but peaceful. In her arms was something very small, wrapped in white, something warm, something new. The smell hit me first. Milk, life, fragile. I stepped closer, very slowly. The child leaned over the bed and smiled so wide I thought her face might break in half. "She's tiny," she whispered. The woman nodded. "She's perfect." The small bundle moved. A hand appeared. A sound came out, soft and broken. I sat down. I did not move. The woman looked at me. For a moment, I was afraid she would tell me to leave. Instead, she smiled. "She can stay," she said quietly. I felt something open inside my chest. The baby cried again. The sound was strange and sharp. It made my body tense. I did not like it, but I understood it did not mean danger. The child looked at me. "She's loud," she said. "Yes," the woman said, "just like you were." They laughed. Days passed. The house changed. It became louder. The nights became shorter. The adults moved slower. Their eyes were tired but soft. The baby cried, slept, cried again. I learned her sounds. I learned her smell. I learned how to walk carefully near her. I learned to sit close and watch. I watched everyone. I watched the child become older in small, quiet ways. She spoke more softly. She walked more carefully. She shared her space. I watched the woman grow tired, then strong again. I watched the man carry the baby, his arms stiff, his voice unsure. And I stayed. I stayed near the door, near the bed, near the child, near the baby. I understood my place. I was not just a dog. I was part of the house, part of the heart inside it. And as the house grew, so did my love. Quiet, steady, unbreakable. Chapter 4. Lessons of Love and Loss. The baby grew fast. At first, she was only sounds and small movements. Then she became smiles, soft laughs, and bright eyes that followed everything. The house learned her rhythm. Wake, cry, eat, sleep, cry again. I learned it too. I slept lightly now. Every sound woke me. I listened for danger, even when there was none. When the baby cried at night, I lifted my head before anyone else moved. Sometimes the child woke first. She would walk quietly to the baby's room, rubbing her eyes. I followed her, always. She liked to sit near the bed and talk to her sister. She told her stories about school, about her toys, about me. "This is my dog," she would say proudly. "She protects us." I did not know what protect meant exactly, but I liked the word. One afternoon, the child came home crying. Her face was red. Her bag fell to the floor. She ran to her room and closed the door. The sound of her crying filled the house like heavy air. I went to her. I pushed the door with my nose and slipped inside. She was on the bed, her face in the pillow. I jumped up and lay beside her. She wrapped her arms around my neck and cried into my fur. "They were mean," she said between sobs. "They said I'm weird. They laughed at me." I did not understand the words, but I understood the pain. I stayed still. I breathed slowly. I let her cry. That was one of the first lessons I learned in that house. Sometimes love means doing nothing, just staying. Later that day, the woman came in and sat beside the child. She spoke softly. She brushed the child's hair back and kissed her head. The child's crying slowed. The pain did not disappear, but it became lighter. I learned that too. Pain does not always leave. Sometimes it just becomes easier to carry. As the seasons changed, so did the house. The baby learned to crawl, then to stand, then to walk, holding on to furniture, laughing when she fell. The child clapped and cheered. The man filmed everything. The woman smiled with tired eyes. I stayed close to the baby, always close. When she fell, I was there. When she cried, I was there. When she laughed, I wagged my tail so hard my whole body moved. Then one day, something else happened. Something quiet, something wrong. The man came home early. His steps were slow. He sat at the table and did not speak. The woman noticed immediately. She asked questions. He shook his head. That night, their voices were low and tense. The word money came up often. The house felt colder. The man stopped smiling as much. The woman counted things. The child listened more than she spoke. The baby did not notice. She was still too young. I noticed everything. One evening, the man sat on the floor and pulled me close. He rested his head on my neck. His breath was heavy. "I don't know what to do," he whispered. I licked his hand. I could not fix his problems, but I could be there. Weeks passed. Things slowly became better. Not perfect, but calmer. The man found work again. The woman laughed more often. The house warmed up. Then another lesson came. One morning, I did not feel strong. My legs felt heavy. My body felt tired in a way I had never known before. I tried to stand, but I lay back down. The woman noticed. She touched my head and frowned. "You're not yourself," she said. They took me to a place I did not like. It smelled sharp and cold. Strange humans touched me. I was afraid. The child cried. "Please be okay," she whispered, hugging my neck. I wanted to tell her I would always be there, but I did not know if that was true. The humans said words I did not understand. The woman nodded. Her eyes were wet. They took me home. I rested for many days. The child slept on the floor beside me. The baby crawled over and touched my ears. The man brought me water. The woman spoke gently. Slowly, I felt stronger. Not the same, but alive. That was another lesson. Love does not mean never getting hurt. Love means being cared for when you are. And in that house, I was loved deeply, even when I was weak, even when I was afraid, even when I could not protect anyone. I closed my eyes and slept, surrounded by familiar sounds. The house, the family, my heart still beating, still full. Chapter 5. The Day Everything Changed. The baby learned to speak. Her first words were soft and unclear, but everyone listened like it was magic. The child clapped her hands and laughed. The woman cried happy tears. The man lifted the baby high and called her clever. I listened too. I waited. One evening, the baby looked at me, pointed her small finger and said, "Dog." Everyone laughed. I stood up so fast my tail hit the chair. That word felt important. It felt like I belonged. Life moved forward in small, quiet steps. Days were full of simple things: meals, school, work, sleep. I liked routine. I liked knowing where everyone was. I liked counting them in my head. Man, woman, child, baby. 4. Plus me. 5. That was my world. Then came a day that started like any other. The morning was bright, the windows were open, the house smelled of toast and warm air. The child was late for school and moved quickly. The woman packed bags. The man searched for his keys. The baby was playing on the floor. I was watching her, always watching. The front door opened. Then something happened that did not belong in that morning. The baby crawled toward the door. The woman turned her back for only a moment. The baby was fast now, too fast. I saw the door. I saw the street beyond it. I saw danger. I did not think. I ran. I pushed my body between the baby and the door. I barked loud, louder than ever before. The sound surprised everyone. The baby fell back and started crying. The woman turned around and screamed. She ran to the baby and lifted her into her arms. Her face was white. Her hands were shaking. "Oh, my God," she whispered again and again. The man closed the door hard. The child stood frozen, her school bag slipping from her shoulder. No one was angry at me. No one shouted. The woman knelt and hugged me with one arm while holding the baby with the other. "You saved her," she said softly. Saved. That word again. I did not understand it fully, but I knew it was good. After that day, something changed in the house. Not loudly, quietly. The man looked at me differently. The woman touched my head more often. The child talked about me at school. "My dog protected my sister," she told everyone. The baby followed me everywhere now. She tried to hold my tail. She laughed when I moved away. She fell asleep with her hand in my fur. I felt proud. I felt useful. But my body remembered that morning differently than my heart. I felt tired more often. My legs sometimes shook when I stood up too fast. I slept longer during the day. The woman noticed. Again, she always noticed. One night, when the house was quiet, the man and woman sat at the table. Their voices were low, careful. "She's getting older," the man said. "I know," the woman replied, "but she's still happy." They were talking about me. I lay nearby, my head on my paws. I did not feel afraid. I felt calm. I had lived well. Weeks passed. My walks became shorter. The child walked slower with me. She did not complain. She held my leash gently. Sometimes she talked to me. "Thank you," she said once, "for everything." I licked her hand. One afternoon, I lay in the sun near the window. The baby was playing with blocks. The woman was reading. The man was at work. The child was at school. The house was quiet, peaceful. I closed my eyes. I remembered my first day there, the fear, the warmth, the love. I felt a strange heaviness in my chest, but also a deep comfort. I was not alone. I was home. When the woman came to check on me, she knelt beside me and touched my face. I opened my eyes and wagged my tail once, just once, enough to say, "I'm here. I'm happy. I loved you." And that was true. Chapter 6. What Love Means. I do not know exactly when my body became lighter than my thoughts. Time felt different. Sounds were softer, colors were warmer, like late afternoon light that never fades. I was lying in my favorite place near the window, but I also felt like I was standing somewhere else, somewhere wide and gentle. I could still see the house. The woman was there. She was sitting on the floor beside me, holding my head in her hands. Her face was close to mine. Her eyes were full and her lips were moving, but her voice sounded far away. "It's okay," she said. "You're such a good girl. You've always been." Good. That word again. I wanted to wag my tail, but I could not move the way I used to. Still, I felt no fear, only warmth, only calm. Then I felt something strange and wonderful. I felt free. I stood up easily. My legs were strong again. I looked down and I saw myself still lying there, peaceful and quiet, with the woman holding me. This did not confuse me. It felt natural. I walked forward, and suddenly the house felt bigger and brighter. The walls seemed to disappear, and the air was full of light. I could see everything at once. The man came home. He dropped his bag when he saw the woman on the floor. He knelt beside her. He understood before she spoke. The child came next, running in with loud steps, laughing until she saw their faces. She stopped. "No," she whispered. She knelt too and touched my fur. The baby crawled closer and said my name in her soft voice. She did not understand. She only knew something had changed. I watched all of them. I felt love moving between them like warm air. I wanted to tell them something important, so I followed the feeling in my heart. I moved closer to each of them. To the woman, I remembered the day she first touched my head and said, "She's perfect." To the man, I remembered his quiet smiles and steady hands. To the child, I remembered the walks, the secrets, the trust. To the baby, I remembered the door, the danger, the moment that mattered most. I realized something then. Love is not about how long you stay. Love is about what you protect, what you give, what you remember. The house changed after that day. My bowl was gone. My leash hung unused, but my place was still there. The child kept my blanket on her bed. Sometimes she held it close when she felt sad. Sometimes she smiled and told the baby stories about me. The woman still looked at the floor near the window sometimes, as if she expected to see me there. When she did, she smiled softly. The man planted flowers in the yard where I used to sleep in the sun. They grew strong, bright. Life continued. That made me happy. And then, one evening, I felt something new. A small, warm presence. A puppy. Not like me, but also like me. The family found her at a shelter. She was afraid, thin. Her eyes searched for kindness. The child knelt and whispered, "It's okay. We'll take care of you." The puppy came home. She sniffed every corner. She slept in my old spot. She learned their voices, their habits, their love. I watched her grow. I did not feel replaced. I felt complete. Because love does not disappear. It continues. In new paws, new eyes, new moments. Sometimes, when the house is very quiet, the puppy lifts her head and looks toward the window, as if she feels me, as if she knows, and I am there, not as a body, but as a memory, a feeling, a promise. If you ask me what my life meant, I will tell you this. I was loved. I was useful. I protected what mattered. I belonged, and that is enough. That is everything.